One for being here, here in person and at home. We will begin our Board of Commissioner regular meeting March 5th, 2026 at 7:02 p.m. Ms. Jones, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Buffalini,
Present.
Commissioner Roberts,
Present.
Commissioner Hall,
Present.
Vice Mayor McDonald,
Present.
Mayor Anderson.
Present. Item number 3 is prayer and pledge. Dear Lord, I want to thank you for our wonderful city and the citizens in it, helping each other, still recovering from the storm, and just bless each and every one of them. I pray that you guide and direct us as we make decisions for our citizens. In Jesus' name, amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item number 4 is Mayor's comments. Like I said, welcome everyone. We have a good group tonight, and all of you at home, just know that you can watch this meeting either on Fairview Facebook Live or on YouTube after the fact. Just type in the date of the meeting. So with that, we'll go on to number 5, citizens' comments.
We have none tonight, Mayor.
Number 6, approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Jones?
Commissioner Roberts,
Aye.
Vice Mayor McDonald,
Aye.
Commissioner Hall,
Aye.
Commissioner Buffalini,
Aye.
Mayor Anderson.
Aye. Item 6 passes 5-0. Item number 7, public announcements, awards, and recognition. A, city events. Mr. Ross.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. Just a reminder that Saturday, March the 28th, we will be having our Easter egg hunt. It was originally scheduled to be at Bowie Nature Park, but since it's closed, we have moved it over here to City Hall, and it's at 10 a.m. Also, a reminder, this Saturday is Arbor Day from 9 a.m. until 12 p.m. at the Farmers Market next to Fairview Donuts, located at 2199 Fairview Boulevard. Then also about the Easter egg hunt, just want to thank TriStar Fairview ER for sponsoring the Easter egg hunt. They called today and wanted to partner with that event, and we cannot thank them enough for sponsoring that event and for sponsoring the July 3rd event as well, being one of our sponsors. Also on March the 16th, the curbside pickup for debris will begin within the city. So we're asking all the citizens to go and place the debris curbside. And just a reminder, on the first Saturday of each month, Williamson County has their monthly tornado siren test, and it begins at 1 p.m. And also, if you want to stay alert for any city events, weather alerts, and up-to-date information, you can text FV Alerts to 888-777. Again, that's FV Alerts to 888-777. And as of today, we have 3,687 tech subscribers, 1,921 email subscribers. That's all I have tonight, Mayor.
Okay, I have something that I need to bring to the board, just in case we want to discuss this or make a decision about it. Makes no difference to me. So this Saturday, Saturday, March 28th at 10 a.m., the Fairview Rec Association is having their kickoff jamboree type thing for baseball and softball. That is the exact same time as our Easter egg hunt. The kids who are involved in baseball and softball are required to be at that jamboree on time. So none of them would be able to be involved in the Easter egg hunt. There has been a suggestion by the Rec Association, if we so feel, we have 3 weeks until, so we could get it posted, but they have offered to let us have the Easter egg hunt on Field 4, which is the largest field at the ball field, so that we can join efforts with them and all the kids can do the Easter egg hunt and then go right into the jamboree, which would have, I think they're doing refreshments, bounce houses, different things out there to kick off the season. But with it being at the exact same time, it poses a problem. So if the board wants to weigh in on this, and also our city attorney, I need for you to weigh in on this as well. If we change the date and also liability, if there is any to the city having it on county property. Yes.
The city is insured for city events, so I'm not that concerned about liability as far as someone getting hurt, and the county is also insured. So I don't think that I don't think that's a significant concern. As far as the use of the field, if there's damage to the field, if the county has invited the city to have the Easter egg hunt, then I think they're undertaking that there's going to be normal wear and tear on the field. So I would assume that is not really an issue. So I don't. If the will is to have it there and the county's open to having it there, then I don't see a big legal issue or liability issue with that.
The Fairview Rec Association made the suggestion. I wanted to bring it to the board first, and then I'll go to Mayor Rogers Anderson about the particulars, if the board is in favor of this.
I think that's a great idea. My daughters will appreciate it because I think they'll be out there, so they'll be able to participate in both.
I'm good with it.
I have some concerns just about how busy it could be, because I think the Jamboree will already be pretty packed, and
The additional parking is
addition-
what Vice Mayor McDonald mentioned.
I'm sorry.
The additional parking that they've added, they just had a big tournament there, and there was not an issue with parking. I just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah. So I just wonder if that would be a thing logistically, if it would be different. And yes, and then checking with the county in response to what Mr. Carter said, it wasn't the county that suggested it, so I would just wonder about that. And I'm curious to know what city staff thinks, since they're hosting, if there's anything that we need to ask them about the logistics of it as well, since they're another involved group. I would just want to know.
I already spoke with Mr. Ross, and he's the one who asked me to bring it up tonight after the city events were, spoken about. Also, I did not want to even go to Mayor Anderson until I found out how the board felt.
Sure. Mr. Ross, do you have any thoughts you want to share with the whole board?
I believe it would be a great turnout either way, but if we can combine the two, I definitely think it would be beneficial. The only concern that I see is that we've already changed the location one time, but we're a few weeks away from the event. So I believe with me doing enough promoting and pushing out on social media, I believe that we can still have the attendance. And Wyatt Jones that's on the board. He offered to put a sign up here at City Hall to help coach people on that. But I can also put that out on our message alerting system website, social media.
Thanks.
And if we choose to go that route, if the board can help assist informing the public that we're going to move it to the ballpark, that would be beneficial.
Absolutely. And just one last question. Normally, the egg hunt is at Bowie Park, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And so the goal would be to go back to Bowie Park next year. We just can't do it because of the effects of the storm. right?
Absolutely. The goal would be to go back to Bowie Park. The reason why is because we want to promote the park. And it's a great event, and then afterwards, the kids can play on the playground, you name it, go on hikes.
Commissioner Buffalini? Well, everybody else has weighed in. I just want everybody to weigh in.
I'm all for it. I think it's great. I think it's great. I think FCA will also help us promote it as well. And it's going to be maybe even good for their registration.
FRA.
FRA, sorry.
That's okay.
I think it's a win-win for everybody.
Okay, well, then I will tomorrow morning reach out to Mayor Rogers Anderson, and I don't see any issue, but barring that, then we will get out the information about it. Okay.
Mayor, before you go, if you're through, I need to say something about Arbor Day, if you got us.
Absolutely.
In conjunction with the Arbor Day celebration on Saturday morning at 9 o'clock, I believe is right, we are having a tree giveaway, 100 pecan trees and 100 red oak trees. Take in mind, these are saplings, they're not big trees, but we're moving it there, so we hope we get better participation in the future. So anyway, that's just wanted to add that this afternoon. Thanks.
At the farmer's market at, right in front of the deli donuts and all of that at 9
o'clock.
9 a.m. Okay. Item B, 7B is Arbor Day proclamation. City of Fairview proclamation, Arbor Day. In 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees. And this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees. And Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world. And Dr. Evangeline Bowie used land management techniques, including planting over 500,000 trees that transformed barren and eroded land into a park treasure gifted to the city that now includes over 700 acres of forest, lakes, and 17 miles of trails. And the city of Fairview is located on the western Highland Rim and within a diverse and unique hardwood forest, and the redbud tree has been designated the official city tree. And the city of Fairview was designated as a tree city in 2019. And the trees save stormwater retention costs, save energy, appeal to shoppers, slow traffic, provide health benefits, mitigate noise, provide wildlife habitat, clean and cool the air, attract people and industry, increase home values, increase pavement life, reduce crime, increase office workers' productivity, and are beautiful. Trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. And the Board of Commissioners of the City of Fairview, Tennessee, does hereby proclaim March 6, 2026 as Arbor Day in the City of Fairview, and urges the citizens to plant trees to protect our woodlands, to promote the well-being of this and future generations. Thank you. I'm going to sign this proclamation, and we will recognize March 6, 2026 as Arbor Day. Any comments from the board? Okay. Item 7C, healthcare presentation. And that would be, sorry, just give me your name and address if you would.
Good evening, Mayor. My name is Wyatt Chocolate. I'm coming from 111 Highway 70 East, Dixon, Tennessee, 37055. So good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Thank you for your time this evening. My name is Wyatt Chocolate, CEO of TriStar Horizon Medical Center. So tonight I'm here to talk about an investment in Fairview's future, the proposed TriStar Fairview ER, to be located just down the road at 2273 Fairview Boulevard. So starting with the reality of our situation, nearly half of Fairview residents today already come to TriStar Horizon or our existing freestanding ER, TriStar Natchez ER, for their emergency care. So when there's a stroke, when there's a heart attack, when a child breaks an arm, when a life changes in a moment, residents of Fairview are already making that 20-minute drive to Dixon. And every day, more than 5 residents out of Fairview choose to turn left and head west to Dixon because they trust the care at our hospital. But let me be clear, that trust didn't happen overnight. That trust was earned physician by physician, nurse by nurse, patient experience by patient experience. So the question at TriStar Horizon became, if the majority of Fairview families already trust your local hospital for their care, why should they have to leave their own community in an emergent situation? Because as you know, in emergency medicine, minutes matter. Every mile matters. Every reduced minute of travel matters. As you know, our roots in Fairview are not new. Almost a decade ago, we worked with Commissioner Hall to establish the community's first TriStar Medical Plaza in Fairview, bringing outpatient services and physicians closer to your community. Personally, I was fortunate enough to be a part of that project during my first few years at the hospital. What makes me excited tonight is that at the end of the day, the city of Fairview and the residents win. I'm thankful that other healthcare systems are seeing the need that TriStar Health saw almost a decade ago. We also have a lot of experience with freestanding emergency rooms at TriStar Horizon. More than a decade ago, I personally opened the TriStar Natchez ER, and we've cared for thousands and thousands of patients, many of which come from Fairview. In fact, today, 1 in almost 30 patients that we care for at either of our campuses comes from your zip code. So the Fairview ER is the next natural step in the progression of care for us to bring that closer to the residents of Fairview. We started with primary care, we added outpatient services, and now we want to provide 24/7 emergency care services. It does nothing but solidify the continuity of care that we've provided for nearly a decade for patients that already trust our network. We also want to address Fairview's growth head-on. Fairview and the surrounding communities are growing rapidly. New homes are under construction, new families are choosing Fairview, longtime residents finally get to see Fairview evolve. But healthcare capacity has not kept pace with this rapidly growing community. Large portions of this region, as we all know, are still vastly underserved for emergency services, requiring lengthy drives for periods of time to receive care during life's most important moments. Let me be clear. A growing community deserves a growing healthcare system. The proposed Fairview ER would operate as a satellite of our emergency department in Dixon extending to the residents of Fairview the same physicians, the same nurses, the same specialists that many of the residents have already trusted for years. In fact, of the thousands of Fairview residents that have trusted their care at our hospital, 80% of them have trusted us more than once in the last 5 years alone. Additionally, the TriStar Fairview ER would be a tax-paying facility, contributing directly to the city's local tax base and supporting city services. But as we made notice publicly a few weeks ago, this is only an initial investment of the $21 million to build this campus. Again, your community already trusts TriStar Horizon and the TriStar Natchez ER. In closing, I would like you to just imagine Fairview in 5 to 10 years from now. The neighborhoods being built today are fully occupied. Schools are thriving. Businesses continue to invest in Fairview. A young family moves here because they feel safe. But most importantly, they feel connected and they feel prepared in their healthcare needs. And when emergencies happen, as they inevitably do, they don't calculate driving across county lines or distances. They depend on one thing, and that's trust. They know that the emergency care is right here in their own community, staffed by the same providers that have been serving the residents of Fairview for many years. That's what smart growth looks like, and that's what we're proposing. Now we're asking for the opportunity to stand even closer with the residents of Fairview when life's moments call for action. Fairview has always been part of the TriStar Horizon family. Now, we want to be closer to yours. Thank you for your leadership and your consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Chocolate. Does anybody on the board have any questions?
Mayor?
Commissioner Buffalini?
Thank you for your presentation, Mr. Chocolate. We appreciate that. Quick question that I have for you. Would there be an opportunity for a job fair for just people that live in the city of Fairview before it's opened up to outside Dixon and other areas? I mean, I'm not trying to sound too much like I love Fairview, but that's just, I think it would be a good opportunity for Fairview to get first dibs.
Absolutely. Fundamentally, healthcare is a hyper-local industry. We're proud to say that many of our employees at the hospital are residents of Fairview already. This proposal creates north of 30 new full-time, high-paying jobs, and we're fully committed to this community to be able to provide those opportunities first.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Mayor?
Commissioner Roberts?
Thank you so much for being here, Mr. Chocolate. Appreciate it. Can you go into a little bit of detail about what the facilities would look like, specifically what you're proposing to build here if your certificate of need is approved?
Yes, Commissioner. So the proposed TriStar Fairview ER is approximately 11,000 square feet. It would have a dedicated walk-in entrance, dedicated EMS entrance bay on the backside of the campus. It would have 11 rooms. It would have a trauma or resuscitation room, which meets state requirements for a higher level of care. We would have things that aren't currently available in Fairview, such as an on-site comprehensive lab services, CT scanner and X-ray. But one of the things that Fairview currently doesn't have are things like crash carts. The ability to administer life-saving stroke medicines like Tenecteplase, those all come with the Fairview ER that currently aren't available.
Thank you. And the site you selected is over next to the entrance to Bowie Park and where the fire department is located.
Directly
is that right?
across the street.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
This be very similar in size to the Natchez ER.
That's a good question, Commissioner. The Natchez ER is a little bit different structurally. So when we opened it in 2015, it was originally designed as a 2-story building. I've had the pleasure and the honor to open 4 other freestanding ERs. All of them are single-story buildings with the air handlers hidden behind a windscreen as not to obstruct the city view. But the prototypical design that was made in our announcement publicly would mirror very closely what the actual would look like.
Okay. I was at the grand opening of that too, by the way.
I know you look familiar, Commissioner.
Anything else? Thank you, Mr. Chocolate, for your presentation.
Thank you.
Item number 8, staff comments and monthly reports. There are none tonight. Item number 9 is consent agenda. A, minutes from February 19th, 2026, Board of Commissioner work session. B, minutes from February 19th, 2026, Board of Commissioner regular meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Ms. Jones?
Commissioner Roberts,
Aye.
Commissioner Buffalini,
Aye.
Commissioner Hall,
Aye.
Vice Mayor McDonald,
Aye.
Mayor Anderson.
Aye. Item 8, A and B, pass 5-0. Item 10, old business. Item 10A, Resolution 05-26, Annexation 7320 Northwest Highway. I will now open the public hearing. If anyone would like to speak, please come forward, state your name, address, and if you live in the city or county.
My daughter is actually a teenager, and she'd like to go ahead and present something to everyone here. She has a proposal for everybody. Is that, can I add that into the
Is this-
meeting?
This is about Resolution 05-26?
I'm sorry. No, I'm just trying to figure out how do I get her on the. I'm sorry, I thought it was open to anything. How do I get her on to the discussion?
Okay,
It's in reference to the American Heart Association and.
Yes, sir.
She's in Teen Impact.
can I put her
So
on
what-
at the end?
What I was going to suggest is that we close this public meeting if there's no comment about it in a
Okay.
minute. And then if someone wants to make a motion to suspend the rules
Okay,
and seconded, then we can have her do her presentation so she doesn't have to sit through the entirety of everything else we have. And then we can do that, and then you can, you don't have to have another motion, you just can go back to regular rules
Okay.
after she's finished. That's what I would do.
So if no one's here to speak on Resolution 05-26, then I will close the public hearing. I will ask, make a motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
Okay. All right, if you'll just come to the podium and state your name and address, and then just tell us a little bit about your involvement with the Heart Association.
Hi, my name is Ariel Waits, and I live at 1025 Simmons Lane, Franklin, Tennessee. I was nominated to be a Teen of Impact with Middle Tennessee from my high school counselor and principal. And so I would like to propose an event that we could possibly have for raising funds for the American Heart Association. So through this campaign, my goal is not only to raise funds for life-saving research and education, but also to bring our community together around an important cause that affects families everywhere. I would love to partner with the city to host a community fundraiser that could both raise funds for the American Heart Association and provide a fun, safe family event. I have two options for ideas that I believe could work well for our community. The first option would be a community bingo night. Would there happen to be a building or city faculty that might be able to hold this event? Residents could purchase bingo cards for a small entry fee, and local businesses could donate prizes such as gift cards or small gift baskets. The evening could include several rounds of bingo throughout the night with small prizes for each round. We could also provide educational materials about heart health and what it means to our community. This type of event would be family-friendly and simple to organize and welcoming for residents of all ages. The second option would be a community game night, which could be hosted wherever is most convenient for the city. Participants could purchase tickets to attend with proceeds supporting the American Heart Association. This event could include multiple rounds of games. Each round would have a winner, and those winners would go on to compete into further rounds. At the end of the night, the finalists would compete, and the top 3 winners would receive a prize. During the event, we could also share information about heart health and healthy living. Because the Teen of Impact campaign ends in about 35 days, which is around the beginning of April, I would love to ask what date within the time frame may be most convenient for the city. I'm very flexible and would be happy to coordinate with whatever works best for the city. I also want to emphasize that I am very open to any suggestions that the board may have, or mayor, if there are any other types of events, ideas, or adjustments that would work better for the city. I would truly appreciate your guidance. My goal is simply to create a positive community event that is open for everyone and helps impact our community. I also want to emphasize that in addition to these events, I would like to possibly host a small community health booth. If permitted, I would love the opportunity to set up a booth somewhere in the city where we could offer free blood pressure screenings to residents. The American Heart Association has begun setting up these blood pressure screening stations already at the Fairview Library. And efforts like this show how simple community access to screenings can help people become more aware of their heart health. Thank you again for your time and for considering these ideas. I truly appreciate the opportunity to share them with you today, and I would be grateful for the chance to work together and for the city to support our health of our community. Thank you.
Ms. Ariel, I'm not going to speak for them, but a lot of organizations have worked closely with Canos next door, and they have actually had a bingo night to raise funds. They also have, a mic and a stage, and they raised a lot of funds, and it was a great time. And they also had different baskets set up where people could, and I don't know how that works, so we'd have to find out about that, but where people could bid on those baskets to raise money that different businesses in the community put together. So it's just a good location. And like I said, of course, we haven't talked to them yet, but they are such a good partner with the community. And I think that would be a good idea to speak with them, because they did have a bingo night and it was so fun and it raised a lot of money. And they're so generous themselves. So that's one idea. The other one, if you'd like to talk to Mr. Ross, we have a July 3rd event. We have close to 30,000 people that come to that event, and this year being our country's 250th anniversary, I'm sure it's going to be bigger than ever. So I think a booth like that would be awesome at our 3rd of July event. And Mr. Ross right here, he's the one you'd want to talk to about that.
Mayor, if I may.
Yes.
If you would, and you did a great job, by the way.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Thank
Is this in conjunction with the class that you have, or with school, or?
No, sir. So I was nominated, I guess, through my school, but it's not associated with my school. It's an outside event, and it's with the American Heart Association.
Oh, that's fantastic. If you write your name and number and email down, and give it to Mr. Ross, he's the one that's nodding, he could help, and perhaps even at the Easter egg hunt, perhaps it might be appropriate to have a booth there, since we're going to do it at the ballpark, and there'll be lots of people there, and that's coming up soon. And also, these two individuals with the hospital, probably, part of what they're doing is they're trying to get a certificate of need to open up a new facility here in Fairview, and part of that is investing in the community. So I saw them both nodding, and they would probably be very excited to work with you because that's exactly the type of community initiative they're interested in. And so I would talk to these two before you leave, okay? Because they probably will be interested in helping you, and you did great.
Thank you.
And I also have a business 2 doors down from Cano's. If you'd like for me to take you over there and talk to Armando, the owner, I'd be happy to help you get the bingo night set up with him because it's a great location.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Mayor,
Yes. Commissioner Roberts.
I just want to commend you on giving a great presentation and getting involved so early at such a young age with civic involvement and caring about other people. I think that's fantastic, and you're setting a great example for your peers. You also came to the right place because obviously we are full of ideas. Everyone in this room is enthusiastic about your proposal, and we all want to help. So some of my thoughts have already been shared here this evening, so I won't repeat those. But I've been working on learning how to host community-wide engagement as well, and I've learned about posting through the United Way on the Hands-On website. So if you do set up an event, you can also post that, so then it would be a way that people are interested in volunteering or knowing about what kind of engagement there is can go on that website and see it. And it would be outside of Fairview as well as inside Fairview, so it would get a really broad audience for that. And if you continue with your engagement, then obviously July 3rd is an option. I've got a question. How long are you in this role with the American Heart Association?
So I am in this role for another 35 days.
Okay, so it'll be over pretty soon.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we've got to jump high and fast, right? Yeah.
I believe so.
Okay, well, I think that you've gotten some attention tonight, so good luck, and I'm sure that many of us in this room will be supporting you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mayor?
Commissioner Buffalini.
Thank you. I too want to commend you and your parents as well for raising a daughter like this, and you have another one sitting right there ready to go as well. So maybe she can take your reins and run with whatever you're going to do here, but we appreciate it. And to get up there and publicly speak, I have problems speaking publicly. I'm just but I commend you like the rest of the I know, like the rest of the board. And I was going to suggest being at the baseball facility because I'm sure you will read a lot of high blood pressure at that location for sure. So that's definitely a good place to go. But thank you very much for bringing this. And when you do decide to make a post or anything like that, if you can, I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but I would love for you to tag me in it as well, and that'll just give you more traction with everything, and maybe the city can help out with that as well on their Facebook, and just put it out there and help you build whatever we're going to build here.
Thank
Okay?
you.
You're welcome.
Mayor.
Commissioner Hall.
I just want to commend you on your presentation. Yeah, I'm like you. I really admire someone that can get up and speak like you did tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Ross. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Okay, so we will reopen our meeting already in progress. Resolution 05-26, annexation 7320 Northwest Highway Final reading, Resolution 05-26, a resolution to annex certain territory upon written consent of the owner and to incorporate the same within the boundaries of the city of Fairview, Tennessee, with RS40, single-family residential zoning, map 021, parcel 056.07, 7320 Northwest Highway, .53 plus or minus acres, owner Ryan and Jesse Winkle. If there's a representative, please come forward. Mr. Greer?
This comes to you tonight with a positive recommendation from the Planning Commission for annexation. This property is an existing donut hole within our city, and so state law recommends that we fill in every donut hole that we have when we're able to. And so our office has a positive recommendation for approval. The Planning Commission had a positive recommendation for approval. And there's a representative tonight to answer any questions you may have.
Before we hear from the representative, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion from the board. Will you please state your name and address for the record, please?
Yes, ma'am. Kelsey McGee at T-Square Engineering. Our address is 111 Southeast Parkway Court in Franklin. I'm here representing the client and the primary engineer on this project. The client is just, as was spoken earlier, is seeking to fill in this donut hole and with a community that will hopefully be an asset to the greater Fairview city.
Ms. Jones?
Vice Mayor McDonald,
Aye.
Commissioner Roberts,
Aye.
Commissioner Hall,
Aye.
Commissioner Buffalini,
Aye.
Mayor Anderson.
Aye. Item 10A passes 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Item 10B, ordinance 2026-02, zoning ordinance. Ordinance 2026-002, an ordinance of the City of Fairview, Tennessee, repealing the current adopted Fairview zoning ordinance and zoning map and adopting a new development code entitled the Fairview, Tennessee Development Code and a new zoning map. Mr. Greer.
Mayor, tonight is only the public hearing. The first reading of this was deferred to March 19th.
Are we going to have a public hearing before that one as well?
No, we will not.
Okay. I will open the public hearing at this time. Seeing no one to speak, I'll close the public hearing. Yes, come forward. Please state your name, address, and if you live in the city or the county.
Mayor, to clarify the record,
I guess I have to
reopen, please. Thank
Okay,
you.
I will reopen the public hearing. That needs to be given to someone by an officer, please.
Thumb drive for
Well, you
Project,
can hand
I'd
it
like
to the
to.
officer.
Okay. David Bynum, 5195 Old Harding Road, Franklin, Tennessee, which is in the city limits of Fairview. Tonight I wanted to talk about the zoning. I think in general it needs a lot of revision. I did participate in public comments and submitted, I think, about 95 comments to Mr. Greer and his staff. The city does have the authority to enact codes like you have. TCA, and I forget the exact chapter, it'll pop up in a minute, does give you the entitlement to write zoning ordinances. Now, Commissioner Roberts asked Mr. Wright if you had the authority to enact the types of requirements that you are doing, which are far more extensive than zoning, and the answer to that is yes. Surprisingly, since he was an attorney, he didn't have an exact location, but TCA does give you that right to do so. I've practiced architecture for 48 years, and I've never seen a code like this that is this extensive and to me is somewhat overreaching. I've got some examples that'll pop up in a minute that show some things, show residences here in Fairview that won't be able to be built anymore because of the restrictions of the codes. And I think those need to be thought about and additional revisions made to the code. Anyway, I'll go on. I'll go on without it. There are, and I've driven around this past week looking at different subdivisions in Fairview, and I've probably been in ones that several of you live in. The code will prohibit houses from being slab on grade. The code is going to require that a house has to be 18 inches to 36 inches from the grade in the front to the finished floor. Mr. Hall's neighborhood has houses, and I believe Mr. Buffalini's has houses that doesn't, they don't comply. So that will not be able to be built again. Now, Mayor Anderson, you've expressed concern about your children being able to live in Fairview. So having to raise a house off the ground like that is going to add cost to the project. And there are other things in the code that are, similar, that are going to be doing the same thing. In addition to the fact that it says it has to be 18 inches off the ground, it can't be more than 3 feet off the ground. I've got a photograph of one of the houses, Mayor, that's being built near you. What is the street you live on?
I live in Cowles Creek.
There's a new construction on Cowles Creek. Now, based on the severity of the grades in that community, that house will not comply with the new code. It appears it's going to be a very nice house, but it's just in framing right now. But the grade is going to make the first floor probably 4 feet or higher off the ground. So a restriction like that, to me, is somewhat, it really doesn't work with what the true nature of the topography is. There are other restrictions in there about alignment of windows. And Mayor, you and Mr. McDonald were presentation I made at the Planning Commission. It's the alignment of second floor windows have to be above a first floor window. And a home with a gable in the front of it, typically you're going to put the window in the center of the gable, and because of furniture placement, the windows are going to be spread on the bottom. But the code won't let you do that anymore. Anyway, I think there may have been some other points in there that I can't remember at this point in time. The other big concern that I have with the code as drafted is that it does not comply with the Fairview Forward 2040 plan. The intent of that plan was to keep housing congregated closer in together and maintain rural around the periphery. The descriptions or definitions of CD2 rural and CD2W in the new zoning code specifically talk about sparsely placed houses with woods, deep front yards, that kind of thing. But TPUDC has drafted the code that says you can build schools, churches, nursing homes, clubs, an inn, an amphitheater, and a rural retreat in the areas that people who spent 10 months putting the Fairview 2040 plan together, that they adopted and they all supported. And those types of uses are just foreign to that. An example that I was going to give, and I'm glad there are people from HCA are here, and he can maybe support me on this. It said you could do a nursing home in a rural area. What are the roads in rural Fairview like? They're narrow, they're windy. So why would you put a nursing home like NHC in a rural area? How much traffic are you going to generate? The staff going to the nursing home, all the visits from family members, all the supplies, food, etc. are going there. And then your mom or dad has a heart attack. EMS has to travel that back road and try to resuscitate them and then take them somewhere to Dixon, the new HCA hospital, Ascension at St. Thomas, somewhere. So I think the code needs a lot of study. I would recommend that you draft a resolution to send it back for study. I think that it didn't have any outside input from architects or other people involved. So I just think it needs a lot of thought, careful thought, and if you go back and talk to some of the other communities, they're having problems. If you go to the website for Nolensville, they've got 2 documents in there. One of them has 95 pages of revisions to code. And you, as an architect, if I come in later on trying to design a project and I'm having to look through this huge addendum to find out what's in and what's out, it's a nightmare. And who's going to review it? Who on your planning staff is not accustomed to having to review plans in context with what's in the new code. So you're probably going to have additional staff to review to be able to keep up with the workload. So anyway, I've said enough. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bynum. Anyone else to speak at the public hearing? I will close the public hearing. Item 11, new business. 11A, Resolution 10-26, a resolution establishing emergency support responsibilities for able-bodied non-public safety personnel. Vice Mayor McDonald.
Thank you, Mayor. Commissioners, so this is a resolution that I spoke with Chief Hughes about in regards to the emergency storm situation that we just experienced. And a big issue, and he expressed this with all of us, but I'll reiterate it so everybody is aware. During that emergency, when it was at its peak, it was all hands on deck from the fire department, police department, all of that. But there was a large amount of calls coming into the non-emergency line at the fire station, which was requiring firemen who have the ability to go out and help people to sit and take phone calls, which isn't probably the best use of their time. Not to say that's not important, but those individuals are equipped with a skill set that could be used outside of an office space. So in speaking with Chief Hughes about it, we came up with this idea in which I think he may have threw it out there first. I'm not sure exactly how it originated, but Basically, it would allow the city staff to understand that that responsibility may fall on their shoulders in the event of something like that taking place. Now, we're probably not, hopefully, going to have events like that, but maybe once a decade, hopefully less than that. But when it does happen, it's, often out of nowhere. We don't have a whole lot of lead time to prepare for it. This would allow for some sort of SOP to be put in place or proper training be done with individuals that raise their hand, or however Tom would like to identify those people or task everybody with it. But there could be some training, annual training involved that would just allow those people to be equipped with the skills necessary to answer those phone calls, and then how to properly get those calls to the right individual that needs to hear about it.
Mayor?
Commissioner Buffalini?
Thank you. Vice Mayor McDonald, will the roles be outlined in the resolution, in this resolution that's being incorporated into our city's incident command system at all? Do you know?
That would be the idea. I think once, if and when this passes, then Chief Hughes and City Manager Tom Doherty would be able to finalize what that would look like for staff.
I appreciate that. Also, once this is in place, will staff have designated areas to go to? And if so, who would they respond to? Would it be their department head currently, or would it be the department head of where they're going to be working at temporarily?
Yeah, again, the details of it,
Right.
This is more high level. Chief Hughes and City Manager Tom Doherty would have to put together exactly what that would look like. I know that we have the ability to funnel calls from pretty much anywhere in the city to any device that the city has in its possession, which is laptops and that sort of thing. So this could be a work from home type, if they were stranded at their house due to weather, as long as they had power and, internet, they would be able to hypothetically do this from anywhere.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Someone who's spent years in the emergency services, I definitely appreciate this focus in protecting our community as well. And I really appreciate Vice Mayor McDonald and everything you've done for this. Thank you very much.
Commissioner Roberts?
Thank you. I echo the last sentiment that Commissioner Buffalini just said. Vice Mayor McDonald, thank you for thinking about this. I think it's very thoughtful. I don't know if we're ready to pass this, if it might be useful for us to examine a little bit more about what happened during those critical days of the ice storm to see how city already responded, and if we did in fact have every person who's already trained in a position where they were helping. So we have city staff in certain departments like the police department and the fire department who already go through training throughout the year. And the city is paying for that already through their annual training requirements. I'd like to know if we already had all of those employed and how to task them with the first layer on any sort of emergency, and then to tier it out to other city staff. That way we're sure that we already have our public safety officers and fire department fully deployed before we lean into other city staff members. Not to say that I don't think that this is a helpful idea and a very creative solution. And I'm wondering if it's already done this way in other jurisdictions, if you were inspired by something like a model you've seen. I'm curious about that. But before we vote on something like this, I have a lot of questions about more information, like how did it actually play out during the ice storm? And did we have everybody that's already a trained public service officer in place that we really need to train more staff? And then what was the call volume? What would the need be? What kind of training would that be? What would the cost be to the city? And do we have time to also think about examining how the work that we're doing in Fairview plays out with the larger emergency management system at the county level?
Sorry, go ahead. Finish.
Because there was so much that was already partnering and happening. I'm just wondering about some more details in there. So I think this is great, but there are so many implications with it that I wonder if we could get some answers on it and come back later for a vote, because I'm wondering if we're already doing what we can to fully deploy what we already have.
I think I can address a handful of those. A couple meetings ago, Chief Hughes came in and gave a full report on the emergency, how many calls were coming in, and there was a overwhelming amount of overtime. So I can't specifically say everybody worked, but I would imagine that everyone who could work was working their absolute most that they could, just due to the amount of overtime hours that were present throughout that storm. As far as cost and training, this isn't like, they're not going to be trained to do CPR or put out a fire. This is literally the non-emergency line, just to say you need to call 911. The majority, I met with Chief this past week and kind of talked about some of those questions you just asked, and a significant, it sounded like a significant amount of the calls were just tying up the lines, right? People calling in to say, I haven't been out yet, but is Cumberland open? Or is Chester passable? Like those type of questions, right? To where when your phone's just ringing off the hook, you have a fireman who could be out clearing roads, saving people who are in trouble, but they're just responding to questions like that. Not to say that those questions aren't valid or important, but I don't think you need to have the training. A fireman has to be able to answer those. And again, the training piece would most likely be internal through Jake, or somebody at the fire station would just put somebody through. It's not, they're not playing the role of someone with the fire department. They're just simply fielding phone calls in an event where phone call volume is significantly increased.
I understand, and I appreciate that response. There were still a lot of qualifiers in your response, and I think that for something like this, where anybody could be calling in with any kind of an emergency, just a little bit more understanding would be very helpful. And to know, again, because we've heard a lot from Chief Hughes, but it was Chief Humphreys involved in this, and what was the response during the ice storm of the police department? Like, do we have more people that are already trained that could be involved in the response? Because the public are calling in with literally any kind of a call. We don't know who could call in. And I know a lot of it was clogging up, but there would be some necessary training, I think. And people who are already trained as first responders would know how to handle any call that came in. So I would just like to have a little bit more on that assessment and a little bit more details, and maybe have Chief Hughes and Chief Humphreys come and speak to the board about it before we go forward with the resolution. Again, I'm supportive. I think it's a great idea, but I also would really like to have more information on it.
Mayor?
Commissioner Buffalini.
Thank you. I think this is a great idea. This is something I've been asking for a long time now. And this wouldn't, correct me if I'm wrong, but the staff wouldn't be operating as a 911 operator handling 911 calls. They'd be handling closer to like a 311 informational calls, a call number that would be directly to the city or to a direct line that will get out through Public Information Officer Richard Ross. And it would be a dedicated line just for informational purposes. If anyone has emergencies, they would dial 911 and it would go to the 911 directors and be directed towards police, fire, anything else that deems necessary. I think this is a great idea. I do have more questions for it as well, kind of like Commissioner Roberts had said. I know that she has a slew of questions, and I do have some more questions, but we do need our city manager here to answer some of these questions, and being that his absence is not here this week, this meeting rather, I think this should be put off until a following meeting when he is present to answer these questions a little bit better, and perhaps maybe even have a workshop with our police and fire chiefs, just for some more verbiage, more direct verbiage from them as well. But I do agree with this, and I really give you kudos for bringing it forward. Thank you.
And I just want to say one more thing in response to that, Commissioner Buffalini, is that when Chief Hughes comes up, he usually ends his presentations by saying, as a reminder, when you have an emergency, call 911, not the fire line. So people are calling that line with actual emergencies. So I do think that it's important, if we're switching over from trained EMS professionals, that we do examine that just a little bit more. Again, lots of support for this, but I would like to have a little bit more information on exactly what we're passing and to make sure that we're going through all the resources of trained professionals first before we go into other city staff.
Mayor, if I may.
Vice Mayor McDonald.
So, Chief Hughes, I think, he might be out of town right now, but he had mentioned, if he needed to be here, or I asked if he wanted to be here. He said, I don't think I need to. So I didn't request that he was, just because he's attended most of our meetings over the last couple months. I figured we'd give him the night off. But honestly, his opinion is just, at least the conversation I had with him, is that this is a need. It's a pain point during those emergencies. And I think the fact that we experience the need for something like this about once every 10 years, they weren't, it's not going to be something that we're doing every other month. You're asking staff to step into a role that they're not comfortable with or familiar with. As far as the non-emergency line being used as an emergency line, I was informed by him that the fire department does not have the ability to dispatch their own calls. They have to have it routed through 911. So literally, if you call the non-emergency line and if it sounds like it's a real emergency, they'll start heading in that general direction, but they can't do anything until you call 911 and that call is officially dispatched. So the response that they give is literally, please hang up and call 911 if this is an emergency. There's no handling of emergencies on that line whatsoever.
Mayor,
Commissioner Hall.
Vice Mayor, reading this, it says support responsibilities for able-bodied, non-public safety personnel. Is this an average citizen that wants to get out and help
No,
the
sir.
situation? So
None.
No, sir.
No citizen could get out and do any kind of emergency clearing or anything?
No,
like that?
the able-bodied, non-public, so it's not fire, not city works, not police department. And able-bodied basically is just saying you're available. In the event of a storm, if it's a tornado that rips through town, some people might not be able-bodied. That would necessarily be a city employee that could fill that. So it's just stating, like, if you're someone who's not, you're in a situation where you can do this, that it would be asked of you to do that.
But they would have safety training.
Yeah, there would be they would have training ahead of time, and Chief Hughes said that he would, they would take it from there. This, I could be off on this, but, we're more high level. We put things in motion and then let the department heads figure out what the details of it look like. I know Chief wants it. Tom is aware of it. He didn't have any issues with it, so.
Thank you.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any other discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to actually, Mr. Carter, can I do a motion in between to defer, since there's a motion to approve on the floor?
So there's already been a motion to approve and seconded, so we need to vote on that. And then if it fails, then you can make a motion to defer.
Okay.
Ms. Jones?
Mayor Anderson,
Aye.
Vice Mayor McDonald,
Aye.
Commissioner Buffalini,
Aye.
Commissioner Hall,
Aye.
Commissioner Roberts.
Nay.
11A passes 4-1. Item number 12, roundtable, Mayor and Commissioners. Commissioner Buffalini?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Board. Thank you for everyone that came here this evening and spoke publicly. I know it was hard. Ms. Ariel, thank you very much for bringing that up. We really appreciate that. Just seeing young people get involved, even with the American Heart Association and just everything else that other young people here in Fairview get involved in. We really appreciate that. And do you have a specific goal in mind of what you're trying to raise? I did want to ask that question earlier. If you had like a certain number of what you wanted to hit, I'm sure we can also help with that. And if you have a specific number, people don't just have to attend the bingo night or your game night. They can send you a check. You know, there are some philanthropists in Fairview and some companies and businesses that would like to get involved and help you as well. And it's not just Cano's, it's just about every restaurant in Fairview will help you. I can almost assure you with that. And not just restaurants, but other businesses as well. So it's all the businesses that are in Fairview will help and support what you want to do. So start knocking on doors and let us know if you need any additional help with that. So once again, kudos to you and thank you very much for speaking publicly on that. Thank you, Mr. Byron, for speaking on that. There were some things that you brought up with your comments that I agree wholehearted with. And you know, even the size of the garages that they want to implement, and just what these codes and ordinances are doing is pricing out younger folk. Same thing like what our mayor wants is she wants our family to be able to live here. You know, it was hard for me growing up. I wanted to live in Great Neck Estates in Long Island, and it was like a place that you're laughing because you know that location. I wanted to live there because my dad had a house there, my parents had a house there. I wanted to grow up there and live there, and I couldn't do it because I couldn't afford to do it. So I had to settle for something else and work my butt off, and I wound up getting a condo there. So I did wind up living there because I worked hard for it. But then, you know, moved on to bigger and better things, and now I'm down here in Fairview and loving every bit of it. So I appreciate you bringing up a lot of those comments and trying to justify, and I wish we were able to see your picture presentation, your PowerPoint presentation. But if you get the opportunity, if you can email that to at least me and the board, I think we would all appreciate that. I definitely would appreciate that. I definitely want to thank HCA, Mr. Chocolate. Thank you very much for coming here this evening and speaking. Fairview is blessed right now to have the businesses coming in that are wanting to come in, the industry, the hospitals, the ER facilities. We're in a blessed position right now. So thank you very much to everyone that wants to invest in our city. It's just great. Flag football started up at the high school, very exciting. I know baseball started up at the high school, very exciting. We got soccer, softball starts, I believe tonight was their first game. So let's go Yellow Jackets, let's go Falcons, and let's keep it going, and I love it. And next meeting I'll talk more about the baseball opening day. So thank you very much.
Commissioner Roberts.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Board. Thank you, staff, for being here, and for everybody who's here this evening. Thanks for coming. I am really excited about the tree giveaway on Saturday at the Farmers Market for Arbor Day. So go get your trees before I go get them, because I definitely would like some more trees in my yard. So I'm looking forward to that. Thank you so much for the presentation about HCA TriStar. And we're excited that we are getting so much interest. I was watching the news at about 5 o'clock in the morning. I think it was Monday, and Fairview was all over the place. And it was great stuff about us being such a wonderful location for new businesses and growth of the commercial kind that will help support the families that live here. So it's really encouraging, and we are truly living in a great time to be here in Fairview. And again, Ms. Ariel, nice presentation. Good luck. I have every confidence that you are going to be successful. And finally, there is another Fairview Cleanup Day hosted in conjunction with United Way on March 14th, the last Saturday of spring break. Anybody who is 17 and older who would like to participate is welcome to come and volunteer. We need lots of hands on deck to get ready for the chipper service that starts on Monday, March 16th. That's all I have.
Commissioner Hall.
Thank you, Mayor, Board, staff. Y'all do such a good job, and I thank you every time we have a meeting. I don't know what we would do without y'all. Y'all make our job a lot easier up here, and I do appreciate it. Ariel, I didn't get your last name, all right? I wasn't quick enough to get it down, but I really enjoyed your presentation, so I'll get your name before you leave tonight, if you don't mind. Wyatt, thank y'all for y'all's healthcare presentation. We really do appreciate it. I didn't know how to pronounce your last name, but you...
Chocolate, like a chocolate bar.
Okay, all right. I'm going to still call him Wyatt if you doesn't mind. Okay, thank you.
It's easy to remember
all the
chocolate.
citizens and everyone that's come tonight, I do appreciate it. And again, thank you, Board. Y'all have a good night.
Vice Mayor McDonald.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. Yeah, just thanks to staff. As always, Ariel, great job. I'll just echo what everyone said. You did a fantastic job, and it's great to see the confidence in young people getting up. I know we've seen that mic shake pretty heavy with other people standing up there that are much older than you, so you handled it quite well. Thank you to HCA for coming. Super exciting time here in Fairview to have so much interest from multiple healthcare companies. It's just wild. Mr. Bynum, thank you for your comments as well. Always nice to hear from the public, and appreciate you just taking interest and taking time out of your day to look into that stuff. Yeah, that's all I've got for tonight. Thank you.
Ms. Ariel, I'm excited that your dad came up and, let us know that that's partly my fault, and I apologize. Reminded me that you wanted to speak tonight. So good job, Dad. For the schools, promoting you to be the representative for American Heart Association, they have a lot of confidence in you, and you must be, a very confident young lady to get their attention. So I'm sure that this community would love to help you. That's what we do. So you just reach out to any of us, and like I said, been exciting bingo nights over there. So, I would love to attend another one. So I think that would be a good opportunity as well as others. And make sure to, come to the Easter egg hunt, because there's going to be a lot of people there. And that's before your deadline. So I was talking about the 3rd of July, but that's after your deadline. So the Easter egg hunt is something that can, happen within your deadline. Mr. Bynum, as a fellow architect and engineer, been in that field for 20 years until I opened my own business. You brought up I know you've been in it twice as long as me, so you brought up some good points. I definitely will be sitting down with our city planner. I know they've worked so hard on this zoning ordinance, but I keep saying over and over again, we've got to get it right, because we don't need to rush it. We need to get it right, because once it's done, then we don't want 95 revisions. I can say that, because that's very costly. So I what you brought up is making me sit back and say, being a designer, some of that just doesn't work. So I want to sit down with Mr. Greer and discuss some of those issues with him and see, where we're at. Just another reminder, everybody, please put your limbs curbside. Please do not let the limbs encroach on the road, because it's hard for people to get around. We don't want any accidents. But I believe, did you say March 16th? Okay, so before March 16th, please get your limbs to the roadside so that when the crews come through, they can pick them up. I think this is going to be great for the community, especially since if you drive around, you see limbs all over the curbside. So I'm excited to for us to get all that finished. Let's see. Okay. So Mr. Chocolate and I had a long conversation. HCA TriStar Natchez had just been open 3 weeks, and I got bit by a water moccasin, had 3 hours until I was dead. They saved my life. So I know that we've got 2 healthcare facilities who want to be here, and I hope we get both. It's going to be hard, if Healthcare Association, makes it would be a hard decision. But this past Saturday night, I had what I felt like was, I've never had a heart attack before, but I felt like I was having a heart attack. So I made a trip down there to Natchez again. They were amazing. And don't remember much after the morphine, but my daughter's an ER doctor, and she was running a marathon in Disney in Florida. So I wasn't able to get a hold of her. Not that she could do anything from there, but she's usually one of the calls that's made. And they determined that I have a large gallstone. I've got to have my gallbladder out, and they were spot on. That's exactly what it was. It wasn't a heart attack, thank goodness, but the utmost care. And now planning to have that surgery. So it was a very scary time and collapsed right there in the front lobby. So I'm just glad that, you know, it wasn't a heart attack. But the people there were amazing. So I really appreciated them and what they did for me. Anyway, thank you to our staff as always, the board. Thank you for everybody coming out tonight. And as I always say, let's please pick up trash and not throw it out so we can keep our community beautiful. I entertain a motion to adjourn.